What bothers you about social media? Whew. How much time do you have? No, I'm kidding. I dated someone for like 5 years who made me feel like such a loser. Hey guys, it's Annie. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I figured I'd film a little Q&A for you guys. The last time I did one of these was probably about a year ago, so I figured it was about time. I asked you guys over on Instagram to send me in any questions that you have, so I'm just gonna be answering them for you. And if you guys don't follow me over on Instagram, give me a follow over there. I'll put it over here. And yeah, let's get started. So the first question is, which country do I live in? So I live in the United States. More specifically, I live in Pennsylvania. How did you get started in this career and what did you do to get better? So I started this account about 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in October is when I consider my 3-year mark. But yeah, I started this page with the intention of doing special effects makeup. I got really inspired by the show Face Off. If you guys have seen any of my other Q&As, I always talk about this. That was my all-time favorite show. It's where they, if you guys don't know what that show is, it's all about special effects, how they create monsters for movies, and it's really cool. But anyway, I was so inspired by special effects makeup that I really wanted to practice it for myself. So I figured I would just make a page just showing you, I guess, my growth? I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking when I started the page. I just was really interested in learning special effects, so I figured I would kind of document it. One day, I randomly just decided to do a cosplay look, so I did Cynthia from the Rugrats, and it completely blew up. It tripled my following at the time. I went from about 200 followers to 600 followers, and I was like, I've made it. So that really made me decide to focus more on cartoons. I don't really remember what my exact thought process was for that, like how it transitioned into a full-on cartoon, but I used to draw cartoons as a kid, so I don't know, I guess it just came natural to me to draw it on a body? I don't know. But the second part of that question was, how do you get better? And I'm assuming that you just mean art-wise, like how do you perfect your craft? Guys, it just takes a lot of practice. Like I said, I started my account about 3 years ago, but I did the 100 days of makeup like 4 or 5 times. So I was consistently creating every single day. That's really what it takes. If this is something that you want to do or that you're passionate about, definitely work at it every single day. That's the only way that you're going to grow. I mean, they say practice makes perfect, and it really is true. Like, obviously, perfection doesn't exist, blah, 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 you know. But if you want to get better at anything, you just need to practice. So this question is, how do you cope with depression and anxiety? So if you guys have been following me for a little bit now, you'll know that I heavily suffer from depression and anxiety. It's something that kind of rules my life, and I really haven't figured out a good balance yet. I do try a bunch of different things. I think forcing myself to create every single day kind of gets me through that. And of course, I have my days where I can't even force myself to do anything. I wind up just sitting down in each room and doing nothing. I feel like I'll just be scrolling on my phone and then it'll be 6 o'clock at night. And then I'm like, I just literally wasted my entire day. Where'd the day go, you know? But it's I just get in those modes where I can't even force myself to do anything. And obviously everything winds up feeling pointless and just really dark. So on the days when I'm feeling really, really bad, I mean, I kind of lean into it and allow myself to take a break for that day. But then I tell myself that I need to go hard the next day. And I mean, it's just kind of a never-ending cycle for me. Once I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. I did go on depression medication probably I guess it's been about 3 years ago now. I was on Lexapro and I had a really bad experience to it. I was having severe panic attacks. It was just the worst experience of my life. So I'm just so scared to try another medication. I've started getting back into working out. That usually helps me. I mean, everyone says eat healthy and work out, and that helps with the endorphins, the positive endorphins. What am I saying? But that usually helps your mood a lot. But those things, if you suffer from depression and anxiety, you know that those things are very hard to do. They're very hard to get yourself motivated to get into a habit of doing them, so I'm working on it. Who's your role model? I don't know. There's no one specific that I don't really have a role model. I think inspiration might be a better word. I don't know. I don't have any specific person that I I don't know. I guess if we're talking about someone that I just look up to in life, I would say that would be my boyfriend. I just think his work ethic is insane. His heart is just bigger than anything that, like, anyone that ever existed in the world. I'm gonna cry just talking about him. But but I would say he's my role model. If we're talking about inspiration-wise, I would say Tim Burton is such a huge inspiration for me. Nickelodeon, I'm sure that you guys can see that from the work that I do. Like SpongeBob is like everything. But like all Nickelodeon shows, Nickelodeon. But I grew up watching Nickelodeon. It's just such a huge source of who I am, I feel like. But I've had the honor of working with Nickelodeon twice in my career so far. It's just been such an amazing experience, such an amazing like full circle moment, because like I said, I used to draw cartoons as a kid, like literally guys, like I have boxes full of boxes of drawings that I've done as a kid. Like, you know what? Let me go to the basement. I'll bring one up just so that you guys can see it, because I recently picked these up. My dad was clearing out the attic of our like childhood house and he dropped a bunch of stuff off at my mom's house. I don't have a relationship with my dad, by the way, in case you guys don't know that. But I just recently got all these boxes back and let me go get them. Hang on. Whew. All right, guys, this is one of the boxes. I'm just gonna show you guys a few or else we would be here like all day. I found this depiction of a Native American that we had to draw in school. That would definitely get me in trouble nowadays. Okay, so I found Tommy from the Rugrats. Can you guys see that on here? SpongeBob, look how square he is. I have Chucky. I drew my cat at the time. Holy crap. Hey Arnold. Angelica as like a caveman or something. Reggie. Arthur. But yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of these because that would just be too much. It does feel so weird though, being able to do this as a career. Like I'm literally turning myself into these cartoons. How did you learn to do your makeup? So I've actually been doing my makeup since like 4th grade, guys. Literally. I've had like a full face of makeup since 5th grade. It's always been a passion of mine. I remember rummaging through my mom's makeup and just being super interested in it. Like makeup's just always been so fun for me. It's just always been a way of expressing yourself. I remember when I was this was probably like 5th grade. I remember I took a bunch of my mom's old eyeshadows, smashed them up, got rolls of tape, put the eyeshadow in there, and then taped them up. That way it would make like a little pouch so that they couldn't come out. I made like a book out of that and then planned on going house to house to sell them. And like, I don't know what happened with that. I don't think I went house to house with them. I think my mom probably stopped me and was like, this is unsanitary. But yeah, with makeup, I don't know. I've just always gravitated towards it. What's your skincare routine or favorite skincare products? Okay, so I do have a serum that I use all the time. It's by Bearcat, and it is like a CBD serum. I love that serum. It's great. I use it all the time. It helps a lot with like fine lines, wrinkles, also like puffiness underneath your eyes, because it has like a lot of like anti-inflammatory properties because it has the CBD oil in it. That's a really good one. This like Nordic Sea Glow Boost Essence is a really good one too. This is like another serum. I've been using a lot of Lavi Labs products. I did a full video on the products that I've been using. When I made that video, I was just trying them out for the first time, but I committed to using it for like a month and a half just to see how I feel about the products. But I've been using those continuously. I've noticed a huge difference. So if you guys wanted to check those out, I think it's lavilabs.com. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But yeah, there's nothing that I feel like I gravitate to that much with skincare. I like trying a bunch of different things. I have the Alot Beauty Box subscription. That has a lot of skincare products in it every month. It's mainly skincare. So I pretty much just use whatever I get in that box. I'm pretty easy. I also do use a derma roller on my face. I try to do it like once a month to help with like my acne scars, and that also just helps fight against wrinkles and minimizes pores. So yeah. What are your favorite products for oily combination skin? So I do have pretty oily skin. A great way to combat that is to actually use an oil. So like I was saying, that CBD oil, that helps a lot. It's funny because you wouldn't think that your skin would need an oil if your skin was oily, but your skin's actually oily because it's dry. At least that's what I've been told by dermatologists. So that oil that I use, the CBD oil, really helps to combat that. And I also like to mix like a mattifying foundation with like a more luminous foundation. That way it's not overly drying, but it also does keep me more mattified. I typically do like the CoverGirl Matte Made. This is a really good one. And I'll mix this with like another foundation. And I'll use like a mattifying primer. I love this one. This is the Thank Me Later primer. I get this guy right on Amazon. This was like $8, I think. It was pretty cheap. And then I always use a setting powder. My favorite one is by Ben Nye. It's like the Luxe setting powder in, it's just like the translucent, but it looks like it's the white one. So it's this guy. And I do bake in areas where I get most oily. So I do like around like my nose here, my chin, and my forehead. And I find that that really keeps my oils at bay. Ew. Could you do a review of the DCX JD180 Primer and Mist? DC, oh, is that the Dominique Cosmetics one? Let me look into that and let me see if I can still get it. I'm wondering if that just launched. But yeah, let me see what I can do. What bothers you about social media? Whew. How much time do you have? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so let's see. I think the most annoying thing about social media is that everyone has an opinion and you're really opening yourself up to being judged by a bunch of people. I don't really get that much hate, I feel like, unless something really goes viral and then people like pick your work apart. But it's obvious that they're just trying to be an asshole most of the time. Not that I'm overly confident in my work at all, but you can see when people just try to nitpick and you're like, cool, you know? And it's always like the most annoying comments where you're like, really, like, why did you even feel like you needed to say that, you know? It's something that's you're not even offended by, but you're like, why did you even take the time to write that? It's just so stupid. But the Lord Farquaad look that I did on Instagram, my hair was pulled back, so I had it like down, and then I had the ponytail like flipped underneath here so that my hair was just, it looked like my hair was short, and then I had like a hat on that I made from paper. And one of like my pieces of hair like wasn't tucked back correctly or something, and somebody made some dumbass comment. Laugh my ass off. You missed a few wig hairs there, love. Nice brush of a few strands. Haha. It was just like the dumbest comment. Like I just don't even like understand. It was just trying to find something wrong with something, and it's like, shut up. How do you do the tiny precision details, and what is your favorite look that you've done? So the tiny precision details, I guess, I wonder if this is a question on, so I recently did a look with Nickelodeon where I did SpongeBob and Patrick's house. So when I do looks like this, where I do the really small cartoons of my face, I typically use the Vivid Bright Liners by NYX. So I have these in a ton of different colors. And I also just use really precision tip like pencils. Not pencils, but you know what I mean, like these guys. I have this in water right now because I was using this for paint. But just like super, super thin paintbrushes. I think this is technically an eyeshadow brush, but I use it for both. But yeah, you can typically look up like detail brushes and you'll find like a ton of them on there. And as far as my favorite look, I feel like this changes all the time. I think right now it would have to be the other mother that I did. I'll pop it up somewhere here for you guys to see it. But I was so proud of that look. That got like, was it 12 million views on TikTok? It was insane. 22 million. Like what? But yeah, that's a look that I'm really proud of. I'm trying to think. I've done so many looks, guys. Like I said, I've done the 100 Days of Makeup like 4 or 5 times now, and I still post consistently on top of that. So probably more like I've done like 5 rounds of it. So yeah, I'll probably say the other mother just to be safe. But like an old school one, I think I would have to say Angelica. That was one that I partnered with for Nickelodeon as well. So I'm just like doubly proud of that one. It came out really cool too, so yeah. First CD ever purchased. I love this question. So it was Sum 41, Does This Look Infected? That was my first CD. And then I think my mom bought me like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera as well, which, not gonna lie, I kind of bumped to that a few times. Bumped to that. Wow. Bumping. At which age did you start doing makeup? I kind of covered this already, so like when I was in like 4th and 5th grade is when I started doing makeup. Like more like beauty makeup, obviously. For like special effects and like body painting, I've done it very inconsistently. I feel like once a year at maybe like 5 years ago, I guess. Like every once in a while I would like bring out like a paint set. Like if I was just kind of bored, I would just turn myself into like a pop art zombie or something, or like on Halloween I would whip out the paint set, but I wasn't doing anything consistently. What is the best paint and brushes for special effects makeup? So the best paint by far is the Mehron Paradise palette. I use it in like every single look you guys have seen. So the Mehron Paradise palette is a good one, and also the Edge palette, that's also by Mehron. It's a little bit more pigmented, and it's great for like outlining, especially because it's more pigmented. I would suggest those two paint palettes. They are a little bit pricey, guys, but if you want a really good paint palette, that's something that is a good investment. Although you don't need to start there. When I started, guys, I had a really cheap like Snazaroo set that had like 6 colors in it, and I would just mix them. It was like the primary shades, and then I would just mix them to get other colors. So yeah, that was what I started with. I had that for the first maybe like 6 months of me doing this, and then I invested in the Mehron Paradise palettes. And as far as brushes, guys, you're gonna laugh. So the regular brushes that I use for like the body painting are just like cheapy brushes I either got on Amazon or Michael's just in like bulk. So they're not like any like special brushes. They were just kind of the cheapest ones that I could find, and they've just lasted me forever, honestly. As far as the precision brushes, like the one I showed you, that one was actually from Anastasia. I had a partnership with them for a little bit, so they wound up sending me those brushes. But you don't need any expensive brands, guys. Literally just look up precision tip brushes and you get the cheapest ones. I know Morphe has a lot of cheaper brushes. I would always suggest going the cheaper route, especially for brushes. I don't know. I've never found like a real difference in like a high-end versus low-end. I think they're pretty much the same. I got a few questions on where I got Creative.Cliche from. And that basically is just because when I first started and I was trying to come up with a name for the page, because I don't know, it was really important to me to come up with a name before I started, because I feel like that just gives you kind of the motivation in a way. I don't know, for some reason it was really important to me. But I was putting a lot of thought into it, and I didn't want to do, like I told you guys, I started out more on like the special effects like route. And I didn't want special effects in my name. I didn't want MUA in my name, because I feel like a lot of people were doing that at the time and still do it. So it doesn't really diversify you that much. So you do want something a little bit more unique. But also I wanted to kind of take the pressure off. And that's where cliche came from. Just in case somebody came by my page and they're like, oh, another special effects person, you know? Like, it was just kind of me making fun of myself. But also I wanted a name that would allow me to switch things up in the future in case I didn't want to do special effects anymore, which is great because I don't really consider myself to be special effects anymore. I still do special effects looks, but I don't like to be like grouped into anything. So yeah, I figured creative was a good one because creativity is such a large range of different things. If I wound up wanting to cook in the future, which I do a lot of cooking in my stories, but yeah, I could literally just do anything. Like, it's easily able to transition into like any category I want under that name. So yeah, I keep saying so yeah after everything. It's super annoying. Sorry. Do you or have you ever used Botox? No, I haven't. I have considered it. Okay, so I obviously know nothing about it. Is Botox and filler the same thing? I think they might be different, but I've considered getting it in my forehead, whichever one is like the correct one for it, because I have like the wrinkles here. I've figured out kind of like a way around it just by baking, like at the very end of my makeup, then I'll brush away the powder and I find that it doesn't crease as much, but I do still have like lines in my forehead that bother me. I think that's the only thing that I would want, but no, I'm definitely not against it. Okay, what do your friends and family think of your lifestyle career as a beauty influencer? Incredible artist. Oh, Kylie, you're so cute. By the way, this is Kylie who's asking these questions. She's just like an overall amazing supportive person. I feel like everybody just has like, I don't even want to call her like a follower. She's more like a friend, but everyone knows who those core followers are, and you just refer to them by name because they're just the ones who are so invested in anything that you do. Like, I could just cry talking about Kylie. She's so sweet. Do they watch your videos and support you? Okay, so I think people are supportive for the most part. I don't think that they understand it at all. Like, I don't think my friends, like, watch my videos or anything like that. Like, some of them do, but, like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me either. Like, I'm not like, why aren't you watching my videos? But like I said, for the most part, people just don't understand it. I don't think that they really think that it's a career, even though it's extremely viable. I'm making way more than I was at my full-time job working for someone else. But people just still can't get it through their head. They have kind of like this judgy vibe, like you're just like a loser sitting at home doing nothing, which I don't understand where that stereotype comes from. I know a lot of YouTubers and influencers talk about this as well, but guys, I've worked like 500 times harder working for myself than I've ever worked for somebody else, but you get a lot less credit doing it this way. Do you guys remember when James Charles was being interviewed by... It was like some kind of news station or something like that. And they were really talking down to him. Like he was just like pathetic. And I'm like, I couldn't even believe the condescending attitudes that they had when they were interviewing him. It was insane. And James Charles is such a hard worker. It doesn't matter what you think about him personally. He is an incredible worker, and you can't even deny that. I think when you don't see the behind the scenes aspect of someone's job, it's easy to just write it off as fluff. Like, oh, you're just recording a video. Oh, you're just taking a picture. Do you know how much time it took to film a video, to edit a video? There's a lot of back-end information that goes into, like, even uploading something. But I think that people just don't connect all of that work with something because it's just not, if it's not something that you do, it's not something that you would even know about. But I do get annoyed when people just write it off without even trying to understand. It is annoying. I think... Going back to that one question where someone was asking what's the most annoying thing about social media, if you were to ask the most annoying thing about this job, I think it would have to be that, because you literally, like, no one really understands what you do, and you do get a lot of people like talking down to you or just being really condescending. Also, you get a lot of people who try to mooch off of you. A lot of people in the industry talk about this, but it really is, it's so surprising to me still when it happens, because it's just, you never know who's genuinely trying to get to know you. Like family members or like people who you went to school with, you're like, you've literally never bothered talking to me before in your entire life, but now that this is what I do, all of a sudden you're talking to me. Like, just get the hell out of here. You've literally never made the effort before. It feels like they think that you're stupid or that you wouldn't see what they're trying to do. It's beyond me, guys. Okay, have you ever had an addiction issue? Does candy addiction count? And like, I'm not even trying to be a smartass, guys. Like, I literally was addicted to candy. Now, like, I can't even remember like the last time. Okay, I can remember the last time I've had candy. Like, don't be extreme. But I used to literally, guys, eat candy every meal. Like, that was what I ate constantly. Like, I would have a bottle of Coca-Cola. Now that we're like talking about addiction, let me clarify. I had a bottle of Coca-Cola. I would have like 5 Nerds ropes. Do you guys know those? Like the gummy candy with all the nerds on them. I would have like 5 Nerds ropes and like a ton of Sour Patches and all kinds of shit. But really, that was what I ate 24/7. And I remember when I would try to get off of it, I would just get worse migraines than I already get on a daily basis, because I suffer from migraines, if you guys are new to my channel. But yeah, I had a serious addiction to candy, but no, nothing, I've never had like any other kind of addiction. Who's the worst in SpongeBob? And they put dash Kevin C. I mean, he was pretty bad. Or maybe like Squilliam. I feel like, Squilliam Fancy Son, he's just so judgy. Okay, will Reuben ever do any funny videos with you? Okay, so I don't know if Reuben would want to do a video. Reuben is a sales manager for Mercedes, so it's kind of like a prestigious name, but I think it's just, it can be seen as like unprofessional in a way, so he probably wouldn't do it for that reason. And also, if just some idiot ever made a a bad comment about him, I would be so hurt. Like, I would never want him to experience that, but I'm sure that he'll be on the channel eventually. I also get a lot of questions about my studio, and I'm going to be doing an updated studio tour. I have one that was filmed about a year ago. I have almost all new equipment in here, but I mean, the basics are the same. I think I still have this elongated desk, I think, for when we filmed that video, yeah. But I have a different ring light, I have a different camera, I have different softboxes, a different headlight, or hair light. But yeah, I definitely need to film another one of those, and that'll be happening, I would say, probably in the next month. I feel like I always say that, but yeah, I'll try to get it out within that time frame. And I also got a lot of questions on how to grow on Instagram. I feel like this video is gonna be so long, guys, I'm so sorry. But to grow on Instagram, I feel like I would have answered this very differently a year ago because Instagram was so different then. Now it's so hard to grow over there, it really is. I would suggest actually growing your TikTok account because TikTok is huge right now. So I would suggest growing your TikTok account and then link your Instagram page. And also if you have a YouTube, you can link your YouTube account. But that's a quick way of growing those accounts using a platform where you can grow really rapidly. But you do have to be very consistent on TikTok. It's the same way that Instagram started out. Like, you would grow really rapidly, but you had to be consistent. So at least posting 1 to 2 times a day is key for TikTok. And you can grow, guys, like, it's crazy. Like, you grow so quickly. I just said it like a million times, but I don't think you understand. But I do want to end this video by saying that, guys, you can do absolutely anything that you want. Never ever listen to somebody else that tells you that you can't do something. I dated someone for like 5 years who made me feel like such a loser for not going to college and not knowing what I wanted to do at the time. And I just look back at that experience. I just remember this moment so vividly. So we were walking in the park and he had said that he was on his last year in college. And then after that, he was moving on to grad school. And I was just over here making pizzas. I was working at a pizza place at the time. I think it was Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. But he just made me feel like such a loser. You have no idea. And I remember my response to him was, I don't know what it is that I want to do yet. But I know that there's something inside of me. Like, I know that I'm meant to do something. I'm meant to be known for something. And not necessarily like famous or anything like that, but I felt such a strong feeling inside of me that I knew that I could put all of my energy towards something big, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And guys, that's okay. I spent most of my younger years working at so many different jobs because that's what you should be doing. You should try to experience as many things as possible and really just let go of that feeling that you need it all figured out. You just need to give yourself time and space and allow yourself to experience a bunch of different things. That's the easiest way of figuring out what you don't want. Because once you figure out what you don't want, that's the easiest way to figure out what you do want. And once I started to mentally distance myself from that person, then I figured out my career path. But I just went off on a huge tangent there, guys. I get in these inspirational moods where I just give pep talks. Like, I even give pep talks to myself, like, on a daily basis. Like, I'll just, like, you know, amp myself up. Does anyone else do that? Let me know. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end the video, or else I'm going to go into another inspirational talk. I'm just going to motivate the shit out of all of you. What? Maybe I should do like an overall like motivational talk, like a video. No, I'm getting too ahead of myself. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I got a lot of repeat questions, so I hope I sum them all up into this Q&A. But yeah, I'll start doing these more frequently. I think from now on, I probably want to do a Q&A like once a month. So yeah, definitely expect more of these. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like. That really helps me out. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.